This role is an actress's dream because there is such a character arc in the film. I get to start in one place and end in a completely different place. She's an entirely different character for the second half of the film, which is so much fun. Not only for the acting side of things, but also the costumes, the hair, the makeup. Like, we did everything different, and it's such a dramatic change so quickly. Learning all the pickpocketing stuff for this role was one of the best things about this role, because it was fascinating. It was so much fun, and I remember when I first read the script, I started doing a bit of research online, and the first person I came across was Apollo Robbins, who is arguably the world's best pickpocket. And I read this giant article, and I was just fascinated, and I couldn't stop looking into it. I was looking up all his stuff, and this guy is incredible. Like, it's just amazing. And I remember thinking, oh, wouldn't it be great that, if the film could just sit down with him for a meeting or something. It turns out, of course, they had him on board to choreograph the entire film, really. So that worked out perfectly, and I got to work with him, and he trained me, and it was just an incredible experience. I was really happy that they decided to shoot in the actual locations that the script takes place, that the story takes place in, because it really makes a difference. There's just a different energy in those places, and it really impacts the way you behave, and when you're in a studio and when you're in, on a street in Argentina, in like the old neighborhood where, God knows who they bribed for you to be there. There's just this, like, that knowledge creates this sort of energy, and I think that's so important, and I'm so happy that they actually allowed it to be done properly. That's something incredible about John and Glenn, that they wrote the script and they're directing the script, and they're not precious about it at all. You would think they would try to, since it's something so close to them, it could be easy to try and micromanage that, and they don't at all. I mean, they have a very specific idea of what they want, which is brilliant. They can give you incredibly specific direction, but at the same time, they're so flexible, and they're happy if you give them something totally different. If you say, not once have they ever told me, no, you have to say that line. If I say, instead of that, can I say that, whatever you want? Sure. If you think that's what you should say, then that's what you should say. And it's really nice to be given that sort of freedom and responsibility. It's a collaborative process, and everyone feels entitled to have an opinion. And you do end up getting really great work out of it. Will's the best. He's hilarious. He's got such a... And I know everyone says this, but he has such a positive presence, and he's so happy and accommodating and lovely. You really have no idea that he has this enormous profile. I forget. It wasn't until, we got to Argentina, really, and suddenly there were thousands of people outside the trailer on our first day of shooting, and I just totally forgot that he has that fan base, because he never lets on that he's that guy. He's just so generous as a co-star, so accommodating, and just such a joy to be around. I really couldn't have a better co-star. I'm so lucky. He's awesome. He's hilarious. He can do one scene that's making you cry, like you're trying not to cry in it. It's that emotive. And then the very next take, you're in hysterics. Like, he can just flip so quickly. It's incredible. He's so talented and such a good person. Yeah, he's just a really good person.